Hello everyone, welcome to the energy update for August 2024. I'm Lee, I'm an intuitive, and every month I take the pulse on what might be showing up for us on an energetic level, an emotional level, or a psychological level. 3 of the themes I'm exploring this month are wising up and moving into your next level as a result, harmonic energy moving into our relationships, and exhaustion turning into engagement, life and the political area. Stay tuned for the full update. Hello everyone, welcome to the energy update for August. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're breathing. I hope you're able to exhale every now and then in these choppy waters that we're in, but not too surprising that we're in these choppy waters. Just before I dive into this month's themes, I want to again say thank you to all of you who came out on the Big Love Tour across North America. It was amazing to be with so many of you, and I'm delighted to say we are bringing the Big Love Tour to Europe and also the UK in January. So it will be between January the 3rd and the 12th. We will be putting tickets on sale sometime this month in August. They aren't available yet if you're watching at the beginning of the month, but do get on my newsletter at leeharrisenergy.com if you know you would like to be there, and then you will receive the announcement immediately. And we are also planning a weekend event on December 7th and 8th in Los Angeles, a special live weekend with Lee, the Z's, and Devore, which also has not yet gone on sale, but we are right now finalizing details. But sometime during the month of August, that will become available, and that's limited numbers. So do jump on my newsletter if you aren't already. Now let's take a look at the energy weather for this month. Theme number 1, turning things around. Turning things around. So moving in the right direction in your life and also in certain elements and areas of the world as a new experience. So what this relates to is, of course, we're still seeing a lot of the chaos and a lot of the back and forth and a lot of the ups and downs. And that's very much still a daily part of the process. In the July energy update, I spoke about finding your center, knowing how to center yourself. And boy, oh boy, did we see that through the month of July with all of the ups and downs on the world stage. So turning things around, this is going to show up 2 ways in your life. Number 1, if you have felt a little slumped for a while or things haven't quite been going your way, even in the later parts of July, but certainly in August, there will be an energy of things beginning to get moving again, things opening up again. Things that you're trying to make happen in your life begin to flow. A certain level of effortlessness will start to appear in your life, which is an interesting contrast to what's going on in the systems of the world, where things are not necessarily flowing. They are imploding on themselves. There's a lot of that energy going on around us in the world, but on a personal level, for many, it's going to be an energy of turning things around and moving in the right direction with key areas of your life or key desires or key needs that you have right now. And this will be a new experience for many of us, a kind of feeling of a breath of fresh air coming in certain areas of your personal life. And that's often enough. If we can just have a few things that are working, a few relationships, a few areas that are working, it can start to have a knock-on effect in the way that we vibrationally approach everything. So turning things around is going to be a theme this month, and it feels very 50-50 as to whether or not you yourself are going to have the energy or the wherewithal or the know-how how to turn things around, or you will literally just receive a blessing or support from somebody in your life who will come along and will help you turn things around that you've needed to turn around, but you haven't known how to do it, or you've been trying and things haven't been working. So there is an energy of flow that's going to be moving through August that's going to feel very new and not like an energy that we've experienced for most of this year, but certainly not since about February time in 2024. So it's strong and many of you will get caught up in it, and it will be good for you, but it will also be good for people around you. Because when things are flowing for us vibrationally and we open up, we share that energy with others, and it has a knock-on effect. Theme number 2 is exhaustion turns to engagement. Exhaustion turns to engagement. And the subheading I was given for this is life and politics. Not a huge fan of talking about politics for all the reasons that we probably all agree on, but it's interesting. Obviously, America has been very in focus in the last month with what's going on politically here, but around the world, it's the same set of issues, questions, and concerns that people have around what is taking place politically, governmentally. And so there is a shift that is beginning to happen that will really show up more in August. Exhaustion turning into engagement. So for many, there is a weariness about the whole thing, and it doesn't seem to get anywhere. And it's just watching a back and forth, low vibrational fight that isn't necessarily benefiting people. And so there is understandably an exhaustion, sometimes a sadness, sometimes a heartbreak, sometimes a rage around what's going on. Well, that's going to shift in this coming month. So I'm curious as to why. I'm curious what will happen on the world stage that's going to facilitate this. But the message is, if you still feel exhausted by all of it, firstly, yes, take a breath, which can also mean engage with it in small doses if you need to engage with it, and just step away from it if it's not doing you any good. And find your center. If you still feel exhausted by it, you might still be recovering. But equally, for many, you are going to feel more engaged in that side of things than you perhaps ever have. And that's the interesting thing that tells me some things are going to have to shift for we as a people to feel allowed to be engaged in what's going on and not disempowered or disenfranchised by what's going on. Because certainly thus far, the energies around that have felt very, very locked down. So, my guides have talked a lot about this being a time of energetic revolution on the planet. And so it feels like this month we're going to see a curve upwards toward that. And even though there have been certain things in the last month or two that have started to crack open a little more, we're going to see a lot more of that energy in August and beyond. So this is a time where people and governing systems have to come together. And when I say this is a time, I mean we're looking at this as a span of years. We're in those years right now where things have to shift because they can't continue the way they have been. So we're seeing a lot of power games, we're seeing a lot of corruption, we're seeing a lot of things that are literally imploding or exploding in front of us. But the message is things are going to continue to be surprising. So if you're exhausted by all the surprises, it would be good to recover from your exhaustion, because that's how things are going to be for a while. And we haven't seen the biggest surprises yet, is the message I hear. So it will be interesting to see how all of this plays out. But for many of you, you're either going to feel more engaged with that side of life and those issues, and wanting to, in whatever way that means for you, be involved in some way that you previously didn't feel you wanted to. But equally, life too. This might not relate to anything political for you. It might be that because you step away from your exhaustion from the world and everything that's going on in the world, and you've perhaps put too much focus there and not enough focus on you and your immediate neighborhood, your immediate vicinity, your immediate people. That's going to be what creates the shift, that you're going to feel that you can come back to life a little more. Because there is certainly some new energy and some more life beginning to appear in those political arenas. It's small, but it's beginning, and there is a growing movement around it. So it's going to be interesting to see that play out over the coming months. But exhaustion turning into engagement doesn't mean you have to run down the street very fast. It doesn't mean engagement is a big energy. It just means you might have been shut down and looking away. And now all of a sudden you start to go, oh, I can look again, and I don't feel as shut down, and I don't feel as triggered. Something's shifting. Number 3, harmonic energy and connection in relationships at an all new level. harmonic energy and connection in relationships at an all new level. So, qualities like appreciation for relationships in your life, people in your life, a softening that you will viscerally experience in your heart around people in your life, loved ones, relationships with strangers that you only just meet for that day, a love and a deepening that is beginning to grow among more people than ever before. Of course, not everybody is going to be embodying that, but more people want to embody it than ever before. So you will start to see more harmonic energy and connection happening for you in relationships at a higher level than you previously experienced or were able to be available for. Because for all of us, we're all growing, we're all letting our conditioning go, dropping parts of ourselves that no longer really are true or work or are needed. So as we do that, we can soften and we can land more in our heart. That's the growth journey for all of us as humans. The one caveat I will give to this theme is, of course, when this happens, what it can also do is it can also show you really high contrasts. So for example, you might have a real blossoming in a relationship you have with one or two people in your life. And because of that blossoming and that blooming with these individuals, you might suddenly realize, there's a couple of other relationships that I'm not as resonant with anymore, or I can't quite experience that level of love or presence with them. And it doesn't mean that relationship has to end, but it does mean that because you will be wanting more connection, you might just slightly reorganize things with your connections with people. Often when we have a new high in our life, it allows us to look at what are the lower areas we need to clear out. Theme number 4, wising up. Wising up. Those were the words I was given. They aren't my words. The wisdom to see and know your next level. The wisdom to see and know your next level. This is very different to trying to manifest your next level, or visioning your next level, or wishing or hoping for something to happen. No, this is literally landing in your power and being able to access a new level of wisdom that you will probably have earned. It won't just be bestowed upon you or dropped upon you. You may have had to go through some tough times to get here. So for example, it might be, I'll give you one example. It could be that you've been struggling in a relationship for a year, let's say, and let's say it's an intimate relationship, either a very close person to you or a love, the person you partner with, or whatever form your relationship takes. And after a year of struggle, you suddenly wise up and you understand either how to have a breakthrough in that relationship, or what you were healing and what you can now let go of, and it lets you soften in that relationship, or you go, I've been trying to make this fit and I'm being shown it doesn't quite fit the way I want it to. So it's the arrival of wisdom within us that we've usually had to work to get to. It's usually taken months or longer. So there's something lovely about hitting those moments, because the struggle in you can stop and you suddenly go, I now see and know what I need to do next. As I always recommend, it can be great to take action fast sometimes, and sometimes we need to do that. But most of the time, considered action is always a great way to behave. So even if you're listening to this and you go, yes, I've just had this revelation that this relationship isn't working. Okay, good. Now wait. Now sit with that truth and see how that truth feels for a week or 2 or 3 when you're in that relationship, so that your next move becomes considered rather than reactive or knee-jerk. That's its own kind of wisdom. And it can save a lot of heartache, heartbreak in the relationship. So we are wising up, the wisdom to see and know our next level. Theme number 5. This is a little more the outer world, the world at large. The slow wake up speeds up. The slow wake up speeds up. Again, a sentence that was given to me. So corruption revelations will continue. We're already seeing a lot of that. We're seeing things coming out that were previously hidden or disguised. Things are coming to the surface for people to see and know. And of course, not everybody knows these things, but a growing number of people are. And you only need a certain number in the collective to start to be aware of something before it spreads into everybody. So corruption revelations will continue. Things that have not been for the best or highest good of the people are continuing to be shown to the people, leaked out, found out, delivered to us. The seeds of division energy are continuing to be exposed. You know, we talk a lot about division energy, and it's not happening for no reason. Division energy is being very deliberately manufactured and pumped on the planet by certain factions. And the seeds of that, why the division energy is being created, why it's being pumped, there is going to be more of a reveal coming out in the coming months around more of that. And we'll see another spotlight on it in August. It's definitely a theme of these years, but there's a spotlight on it this month. Seeing these things leads to healing. So seeing leads to healing. So there will be some of you who don't look at any of that, and it's not your world, it's not your interest, or you've had bad experiences looking at that. So for your own nervous system, you're just staying away from it. But there are many of you who are really into it and are really paying attention. You might be someone who is spreading the message to others. As always, the more we can deliver these messages with love, kindness, compassion, rather than fear-mongering, trying to shock people, trying to shake people, the more we are regulated in our nervous systems, when we become ambassadors of this knowledge, the easier it is for everybody. So the slow wake up speeds up. So there will be some spotlight on that in August and in the months beyond. So we will see what that is. Number 6, community power and community love. The division antidote. Community power and community love. The division antidote. If you are so over the division, you're like on your last nerve, turn to community. Whether that community is you and your son as a single parent, or your daughter, whether that community is a big family or a group of friends you have, whether that community is the people you work with or the mission you are putting into the world, and there are a group of you working on that mission. Community power can allow us to be love in action when we all wrap around each other, come together to help, to serve, to give. That's community power. Community love goes back to the relationship softening and appreciation and heart opening that I was talking about. So, you know, if when I was talking about a couple of the big world areas, you're like, ugh, I just don't want to hear any of it. I get it. I don't blame you. Turn to community power and community love. That's where you need to go, because we're all playing our role in different ways through this particular time of history. And for you, generating community energy could be one of your superpowers. And we need that. We need people who are willing to bring others into the groups with their love and with their action. Number 7, this was an interesting one to me. Sacred arts rising. Sacred arts rising. Apparently, many more of us will be feeling inspired to create sacred arts, rituals, or perhaps even share our creations in bigger ways. So, to me, dancing is a sacred art. Whether you do it by yourself or whether you do it in a group, you're moving energy through your own body, you're moving energy with a community. Arts could literally be what we traditionally know as the arts, poetry, painting, but really anything where you are working with energy, the land, nature, cooking, bringing art to the world. There are so many ways that we do it, but the word sacred is the key here. So you might suddenly be seeking out sacred art, sacred rituals. You might be beginning to turn to them and recognizing the power of them. Or you might be sharing this with other people in bigger ways. Maybe you are a sacred artist. You're someone who creates sacred rituals, and you suddenly feel called to do that in a bigger way. You know what? I'm going to have a group of 6 people to my house twice a month, and I'm going to hold a sacred ritual for whoever wants to come. Or maybe you're someone who puts things out online and you want to do it in a bigger way. So sharing your creations in bigger ways is going to be a theme for those of you who resonate with the sacred arts already, and turning toward sacred arts, things that allow us to feel connected to ourselves, our souls, each other, spirit. So that's going to be a big theme. And lastly, number 8, last but not least, I should say, this was an interesting one to me, and it's one that I'm going to try and translate in a grounded level. Okay, color, vibrance, and multidimensionality at all new levels in our consciousness. Color, vibrance, and multidimensionality at all new levels in our consciousness. So the message I was given about this theme is cosmic waves are incoming to planet Earth. They're initiating this. So people are going to be, through this theme, having experiences of revelation, wonder, and the multitudes. So seeing things in a more multidimensional way, which is the antidote to division, by the way. Because for division to exist, we have to be looking at right, wrong, black, white, one polar end of one spectrum fighting one polar end of the other spectrum, which is really boring if you think about it, because that's not true. There are so many things going on in the middle. So many of you might be stewards of multidimensionality in your life, and you're going to feel an upshift around bringing things to people more. But this makes me think of when people have either awakening experiences. Some people initiate it using psychedelic ceremonies. So color, vibrance, and multidimensionality coming into our consciousness as human beings in a new way. This also makes me wonder what's going to be put into the world. You know, often great art can pop up and change the way we see things. So I'm curious how that's going to show up in the coming months. But for you, it can very much look like revelatory experiences, connecting back to the wonder of this mystery of life that we're in, and the multitudes, which again is a great antidote to division, because it makes division energy seem very old and very past, and just something that it's very hard to even grasp as a concept when you have experienced more than that in yourself and in your knowing. So those are the themes for August 2024. For those of you who wish to have an experience with me of taking your work to the next level in the world, I am bringing back the course that I ran last September called Grow Your Business. And it's specifically for people who want to either bring their conscious arts or their conscious healing into the world, or because you are running a business that's built on consciousness and built on helping the consciousness of the world. So it's a very in-depth program, but I've kept it as simple as I can. And it's something that so many participants from around the world had a wonderful time with last year. We decided to do it again in September 2024. Everything is archived and you will have lifetime access to it. But for those of you who are perhaps interested and you'd like to have an experience of this, I have a video that's a little over an hour long, and it's called Breaking Through: 6 Areas to Consider When Growing Your Conscious Business. It's completely free, and if you use the links underneath this video, you will find your way to it. And in it, I share, 6 key areas for me that have allowed me in a 20-year period of doing this work to really allow things to grow. Not just to make things grow, but as you have to allow it. And there's a lot that you go through as a person. So it's my joy to share that work with those who want to take that with me. In my portal members community this month, we have our usual monthly broadcast where every month I go live, myself, my guides, the Z's. I always teach deeply on a theme every month, and then I answer your questions, and the Z's also answer questions. But then there are a whole host of other things that come with a portal membership. Videos from guest teachers, audio from myself every month, and this month it's I Love My Body. How is your relationship to this incredible vehicle that we all get to walk around the world in, but we've been given some funny ideas about it over the years? So this month's audio is all focused on you learning to love your body and recognize it as the sacred vessel that it is, that allows you to be here. So that and so many other things in my portal members community this month. And You can find all of this at my website, leeharrisenergy.com, or as I said, get on my newsletter, and then you'll get the announcements for the tour of Europe in January and also the December event in Los Angeles. So until next month, everybody, lots of love to you. Take good care of yourself and take good care of any others that you feel able and resourced enough to do so. Take care. Grow Your Business, Essential Lessons for Conscious Entrepreneurs is a course I have created to share everything I've learned over the 19 years of doing this work in the world. I had been a student of self-growth and metaphysics for about 12 years before I did my first one-on-one private reading as an intuitive and a channeler. Here I am 19 years later with a team of 18 creatives, my production team, and my work reaches millions of people every month, most of them for free. And yet, we do have a 7-figure business that sustains everything we do here. So it has come a long way, and I've changed a lot over those years because I learned a lot of essential lessons. There are certain things that we worry about. Will I be able to truly give value to people? Will I sabotage myself? I don't know how to manage money. I've got money issues. How can I charge for my work? How do I know if what I'm doing is really what the world needs? Often it's the difference between just having that tiny bit more courage than you have fear that allows those of us who do this work to keep going and keep growing. Some essential lessons that we will be covering are serving your mission, your personal mission and the mission of your business, your relationship to money and how expanding that can greatly enhance the business, mindset and the energetics of your work, entrepreneurial self-care, because if you take care of you, you will take care of the business better, outreach and marketing and how to market your work in an authentic way that is true to you, valuing your gifts in the world and pricing your work, building a team, and the art of creativity and transformation and how that can underpin everything that you do. You are needed, and now is your time. And if you have a desire to grow your business or start your work in the healing arts, I would love to be your guide and take you to the next level.